Welcome everyone. In today's session, we'll be learning about how we can analyze the sensitivity report after we have generated or after it has been generated using the Excel. So for the sensitivity report, it has been grouped into two. We have two parts. We have the variable cells and then the constraints. So on the variable cells, we will talk about the final values, the reduced cost, the objective coefficients, the allowable increase and allowable decrease. And for the constraints too, we have our final value, we have our shadow price, our constraints at the right hand side, allowable increase and allowable decrease. So let's take the variable cells first. So let's talk about the final value. So the final value simply means the objective or the optimum solution for each quantity. Meaning if you want to maximize profit or minimize cost. You see, when you were formulating an objective function model, you said your quantity and then maybe the cost of the quantity or the price, right? Yeah. So the quantity, you represent the quantity by 000. So these 15 for A, 50 for B, and then C for 0. This represents the optimum solution that you could acquire. If it's like you are producing goods, these are the highest goods you can produce in order to maximize profit. So in simple terms, we are saying that the final value represents the quantities that you can produce, your optimum that you can produce in order to maximize profit. And then your reduced cost talks about the cost you incur in case you produce an object. So you can see C, we have a reduced cost of negative 29.5, which means if you are to produce commodity C, we are going to lose 29.5 cedis. Right. Yeah. So when we talk about objective coefficients, it talks about the coefficients of the objective function. You see, when you're producing, so in your objective for this particular question, your objective function was 35 x1 plus 40 x2 plus 43 x3. So this was your objective function, right? So these values represent the coefficients of the objective function. And we have allowable increase. So this allowable increase simply talks about the number of quantities you can increase if you want to increase your profit. So it should be within this range. So when you are increasing your quantity within this range, then it means your final value, that's your optimal solution, will not change, but then your profit will change. When quantity A was to increase by 3, what will be our objective function? So it means we are adding 3 to our objective coefficient, which was 35. So now our objective coefficient will be 38. And then we multiply it by the amount or the value for uh, commodity A, which is 15. That's the optimum solution. And then we will get our answer, and our answer will be added to our optimum or our profit, right? And then we talk about our allowable decrease. So allowable decrease is also the range at which our profit could decrease. Yeah. So that's it. When you see on allowable increase quantity C, we have 1.08 plus 30. This shows an infinity. It represents an infinity range, which means we can reduce the quantity by infinity, right? Why? Because we are not producing anything. We didn't produce. Our final value, which was our ultimate solution, was 0. So we can choose not to produce anything because decreasing allowable decrease means we are decreasing the quantity that we produce. So if you decrease it, since you're not producing anything, even if you decrease it by 20, still it won't affect the objective function because we're not producing anything. And for the C, when they talk about they can ask you what's the minimum value that we can produce, right? So our minimum amount. So the minimum amount, it means in case they want to produce, or the minimum cost, let me say minimum cost to produce, in case the business want to produce commodity C, what will be their minimum cost? So if they want to go ahead and produce, then it means they have to add the cost that they will incur in case they produce. That's the 29.5. They have to add it to their objective coefficient, which is 43. 43. So you add your 29.5 to the 43. So the answer that you get, that will be your minimum cost. It means you are adding the cost that you incur to the coefficient so that you incur the cost. So you are adding it to it. Therefore, the price of that commodity will increase. When you do that, then you produce commodity, you're not going to make any loss. So let's move to, I hope you understand, let's move to the constraints. So for the constraints, we have our final value, we have a shadow price, we have constraints on the right hand side, we have allowable increase and allowable decrease. When we talk about the final value, these are the available goods, or these are the goods that they used. Let me say the goods that they used. These are the usage. So the right hand side, the constraint at the right hand side talks about the availability, the available goods they were having. So in our constraints or in our objective function when we were presenting or when we were formulating our linear model on the Excel, we indicate a place that we call it available resources. Yeah, and these constraints at the right hand side represent those available resources. So you can see in process B, they had an available resource of 30. Material A had available resource of 90. Material B had available resource of 80. And material process B also had available resource of 120. So these available resources represent the resources that were available, right? And then the final value represent the ones we used, the usage. So out of the 30 for process B, out of the 30, we used 30. So we can say process B was binding. We used everything. When we talk about material A, out of the 90, we used 90, which means material B was also binding. We used everything. When it comes to material B, out of the 80, we used 45, which means material B is not binding. There's a slack value there. And the slack values represent the available resource that we didn't use. So for material B, if you want to know the slack value, it's just 80 minus our 45, the one that we used. And then we get 35. So this 35 represents the slack value. So in case in your quiz they ask you what's the slack value, they give you sensitivity report. In the sensitivity report, they ask you what's the slack value. So you have to check the available resource, the one that you didn't use. You subtract from your you subtract your usage from your available resources, and then that will be your slack value. When you go to process B, we had 120 and then we used 105. So we didn't use everything, so that constraint is not binding. And there's a slack there. So you have to find the difference. That's the 120 minus the 105, which will give you 30, and this 30 becomes your slack value. Let's talk about the shadow price. So the shadow price also talks about the amount a commodity will contribute in case you want to produce an additional resources. So for instance, for process B, when we are to increase our constraint, that's the right hand side, by a number, assuming 10, then it means you're going to gain 10 times 30, which is 300, which means our profit is going to increase by 300, right? And first of all, when you are to increase, when they ask you that, when you are asked that assuming process B increase by a certain amount, first of all, you have to check your allowable increase. If it is within that range, then it means yes, your profit will increase. So for instance, in process B, our allowable increase is 3. So when you're asked that in case if the company decides to increase the process A by 2, how much is it going to contribute to our profits? Then you have to calculate, you have to first check your allowable increase. So when you check your allowable increase, you can see it's within that range. Therefore, we multiply that amount of increase, that's the 2, by the shadow price, which is 30. So 2 times 30 will give us 60. So we add that 60 to our profit, right? So when you add that 60 to your profit, that becomes your new profit or your profit. So that 60 is the amount the additional increase of 2 is going to contribute to your profit. So when we talk about, let's take it for instance, material A. That we said if material A increased by 20, so first of all we check the allowable increase. For material A, the allowable increase is 30, which means it's within that range, right? So we multiply our 20, that's the increase, by the shadow price, which is 2.5, which will get 50, which means our profit is going to increase by 50. Same applies to allowable decrease. When you have to decrease a price by a certain amount, when you have to decrease your constraint by a certain amount, first you check the allowable decrease. So assuming we have to decrease product B or material B, assuming we have to decrease material B by 10, first of all, we have to check the allowable decrease. If it's within that range, yeah, so when we check allowable decrease, we have 35. So it means it's within that range. So 35 multiplying our shadow price for material B is 0. So we multiply 35 by 0, then you're going to get 0, which means decreasing um, material B will yield no profit or loss to our profit. Will yield no loss to our profit, our final profit. Yeah. So that is it for the um, allowable decrease. So in summary, I would say the sensitivity reports, we have two parts. We have the variable cells and then the constraints. The final value represents the optimum solution, and then the reduced cost represents the risk that will be involved if you continue to produce a quantity that its final value at zero or its optimal solution is zero. And we said that if you want the minimum price, then it means you have to add your reduced cost to your objective function. Then the amount will be your minimum price. We said the allowable decrease and allowable increase represents the the range at which the quantity could increase or decrease. That won't affect the final value, that's the ultimate solution, but rather will affect only the profit, right? Or will affect only our objective function, either to increase it or to decrease it. We talked about the constraints too. We said the final value represents the available resources that we used, and then the shadow price represents the cost or the amount of money or anything that will be bring any like let me say it this way. The shadow price represents what will be bring on board when an additional product or additional material has been introduced, right? And then the right hand side, we said it represents the available resources, and then allowable increase and allowable decrease also represent the range at which the our quantity or our products could increase or decrease that will affect our price. And then we say if there's an increase, you multiply it by the shadow price. If there's a decrease, you multiply by the shadow price. So those with the shadow price 0, 0, whether there's an increase or decrease, it won't affect it. And we said when we see the I dots, the one dot OE plus 30, it represents infinity. Okay, so that is all for the interpretation of um yeah. So in case they ask you what's the profit, what the profit um what the profit the business made is just you multiplying the final value, that's the optimal solution, by the objective coefficient, right? So you get 15 multiplied 35 plus 15 multiplied 10 plus 0 multiplied 43. And this will be your objective function. That's your profit.